Another episode of Deep True Crime. I'm Manny Rodriguez. In today's episode, we are discussing the Asia Womack story. A 21-year-old black woman who was murdered in Dallas due to a man's bruised ego over losing a basketball game. Before we dive into this, I want to just send out my condolences to the family in this senseless murder. This young girl, only 21 years old, had so much life to give and live. And she was savagely murdered because she beat a man at basketball. Rest in peace, Asia Womack. Let's go ahead and dive into this story, why don't we? Asia Janae Womack was born Thursday, February 15th, 2001, to the parents of Andrea and Anthony Womack. And they were both from Fort Worth, Texas, and that's where she was born. She attended the great James Madison High School in Dallas, Texas, where she received her high school diploma. And this she only did this 2019. She was just starting her life out. She then furthered her education and attended Texas A&M Commerce in Commerce, Texas, studying kinesiology. She had so much life to give. Asia, affectionately known as Fat Baby, has a passion for basketball since an early age. She's always been into basketball. She's well known for basketball. That was her whole life. She had so much life to live, and it was savagely taken away way too soon. She was designed like no other. Her gift was expressed through her love for basketball. She had a big heart filled with love. And this is where it's so sad that she was taken so soon. She had so much joy and laughter. She had a smile that would light up your day. And her family and friends, they are all heartbroken over this tragic incident. She was also a member of Gospel Tabernacle Church under the pastoral leadership of Bishop David E. Martin. And she was a very much an active participant in the Generation Next ministry and the Youth Providence ministry. On October 3rd, 2022, at approximately 7:40 p.m., Dallas police were called to a shooting in the 4100 block of Hamilton Avenue. Now, the preliminary investigation shows when officers arrived, they found Asia Womack, 21 years old, on the sidewalk with multiple gunshot wounds. Dallas Fire Rescue responded and took Womack to an area hospital where she died. Cameron Hogg, 31 years old, pictured here in front of you, he was arrested on October 20th after being on the run for 2 weeks, and he has been charged with the murder in the death of 21-year-old Asia Womack. And this is according to Dallas police. The police, they found Womack laying on a sidewalk with multiple gunshot wounds in the 4100 block of Hamilton Avenue on October 3rd. First responders, they rushed her to an area hospital where she would later die from her injuries. Hogg allegedly opened fire on Womack after a basketball game at TG Terry Park in South Dallas when a fight broke out over the basketball game. that escalated after this basketball game. And Asia's alleged gunman, Cameron Hogg, he is said to have been unable to handle not only the loss, but the teasing and the taunting that erupted in response to losing presumably a low stakes game to a woman. And police say that after the game, Hogg and Womack left when she went to a nearby friend's home to sit outside watching football on a television that was hooked up outside of the home. And Asia's friend told police that Hogg drove his truck to where they were and got out in an angry manner. The witness told police Asia stood up ready to confront Hogg again when, without saying a word, he pointed a handgun and shot her twice in the chest. As she was falling, he shot 2 more times and then left. That witness later identified Hogg in a photo lineup. Now, this is where it's again, this is why it looks like it was definitely over this basketball game that this happened. Womack, she played for her high school team, reportedly beat Hogg in a pickup game, which led to trash talking between the pair that turned violent. This is what her family would share. And if you really stop and think about it, we've all had that moment where we're like, we're trash talking after winning, more in a fun, playful manner. I'm going to assume she was just more being like, hey, I beat you. This girl had skills. She had skills. She played for her basketball team. That's my whole point on this. This lady had skills. And so that's why it's like, why are you taking this beating so bad? A local pastor called her murder so senseless. And he shares that you become embarrassed because you were beaten. I mean, you should definitely be embarrassed, right? So he would share, like, you became embarrassed basically because a female beat you in basketball. That's what Pastor John Delley would tell Fox 4. This is one of the pastors that also was a leader in her church. And he was even heartbroken and like, how could this happen? This senseless murder. How could this possibly happen? Now, Asia's mother, seen here in this picture, she couldn't even make sense of the deadly violence, saying she believed her alleged killer was her daughter's friend. She says this was to be a friend of Asia's. She's eaten with this man, her mother would say, and she's fed him, and he turned on her and killed her in a vicious way. And her mom was like, when he was in jail, Asia sent him money. She's blown away that this could happen. It was supposed to be a friend of Asia's. Now, Womack's Aunt Juanita Smith told NBC News, we are taking it kind of hard because it was senseless. I believe in forgiveness, but justice needs to be served. And that is for sure that we need some justice for Asia Womack. This guy was on the run for 2 weeks. Hogg, he shot the 21-year-old 4 times on Hamilton Avenue, which is a South Dallas neighborhood near the park where she had went after this incident. And prior to the incident, Hogg is said to have taken his children and his brother home only to return later to commit the crime. And a nearby surveillance camera possibly captured his car speeding away. Now, Pastor John Delley with Faith Tabernacle Church of God in Christ, he shares that when it goes to the extreme of such that you leave the scene, go to the house and you get a gun and you come back, this is what he said, that's just senseless. Like, obviously, what was this guy thinking would happen? I mean, from what it sounds to me, it sounds like he got upset because he lost. He got upset because she was taunting and teasing him after this, what was thought to be a friendly pickup game. And now we wait to find out more. This is still a developing story. He was just finally caught after 2 weeks on the run. And this happened early October. And so then he was gone, and now they're just trying to, number one, take this even further. But, as I said, he has been charged with her death. And we only wait to find out more as to why did this happen? Is it because she was a woman and she beat him in a pickup game of basketball? The girl played for her high school team. Not only that, she lived and breathed the sport. She was a sports fan in general. Looking at her Facebook profile, she was a sports fan in general. But basketball, she was all about basketball. And I want to just share Asia Womack, rest in peace. Taken from this world way too soon over someone who could not handle defeat. And my friends, my whole focus is to keep you updated on what could go wrong in this crazy world we live in. And that's exactly why I do this. Because who would have thought playing a pickup game of basketball, someone would lose their life to someone they thought was a friend? So problems erupted at the park. This guy takes his kids home, and his brother or something, his uncle or something like that, gets a gun, finds her where he knows that she is at, gets out of his truck in an angry manner, doesn't say a word. She's like, hey, you want some more? We'll duke it out. Whatever. Friends do fight, right? Brothers fight, sisters fight, brothers and sisters fight. So she's probably like, we're just going to deal with it, move on. But she didn't even get a chance to deal with it because he did the cowardly thing. I would have just never guessed that this was going to happen. My friends, I'm Manny Rodriguez. This is the crazy story of a man who was upset because of teasing and taunting and losing a basketball game to someone who was supposed to be his friend, who was also a woman, and it sounds like he was not happy about losing to his friend who is a woman. Thank you for joining me today, my friends. Be alert, be careful, be ready. You never know what can go wrong in this crazy world we live in. I'm Manny Rodriguez. Thank you for joining me today, and I look forward to serving you again. Rest in peace, Asia Womack, taken from this world way too soon. See you later. Peace.